Hello, Matthew.
Hello. 2 balls on an upslope, Dan. Hard shot. You get all of these around the green, don't you?
You certainly do.
This is part 2 of our little series. Done the down slope. We've got an uphill slope to not much green to work with. Should we talk about it?
Yeah.
Let's
do that.
So, uphill lie. I always think there's 2 ways of doing this one. If you've watched the video before about downhill, I said that I lean with the slope, and I also feel like you can do that with this one as well. On a flat lie I would, or downhill lie, I said lean with the slope. I would also do it with this one too. I think it's quite lie dependent though, this one. If the ball sat down, I probably wouldn't go that way.
Okay.
I would lean more into it, but margin for error is a lot smaller, I always think, because you're literally using that leading edge and digging it into the ground.
Yeah.
So I generally, depending on the lie, but if it's good like we've got here, I would be leaning with the slope again. So weight kind of 50-50, ball position on my sternum. Loft 58 again, because we haven't got much green to work with. Grip down in the middle for a bit more control. I'd never grip it up the end of the club.
No, good.
And then I'm just basically trying to replicate my swing on a flat lie, downhill lie. I'm keeping the club nice and low to the ground all the time, so that low point is as long as possible. And then I'm just trying to use the bounce of the club as well when I'm leaning this way. So you glide across the ground, not let it dig into that bank.
Yeah.
And pop it up nicely.
Good shot.
If I grab another ball, when I lean into the slope, so if the ball sat down a little bit, I would be going more left side with my weight.
Okay, yeah, so you're leaning into the slope
Leaning
more.
into the slope. This is going to make the leading edge become a bit more pronounced, and it will dig in, and you probably will take a bit of a divot, but it is an option. You need to weigh up which one's going to give you the higher percentage shot.
So this sort of shot here with what you're talking about there, leaning into it, that wouldn't concern me too much if I had plenty of green to work with. What are you doing, let's say, differently? Are you trying to land this in a different position because of where it's
I'm going to now open my club a little bit to try and get that ball to pop up a bit.
Okay.
But
so
again, margins are probably going down again now.
Yeah.
So you again need to assess what setup, what twists on the club you need to do, to what places to land it to give you that highest percentage. And you just need to get out here and try it and not be scared. Don't just go to that flat point where you're really nice and it's really easy. Put yourself in these tricky situations. So weight forward, again gripping down slightly, club face slightly open, and I'm going to aim slightly left with my stance to correct that twist of the loft. And then it's all about strike. That's all I'm thinking about, trying to get ball first and not let it stub. So you see my club there?
Yeah, just kind of stuck in the ground.
Stuck in the ground, like leading edge has gone straight in.
Yeah.
Any slight mistake with that one, like you'll see people pop it 2 yards in front of them basically. But definitely 2 ways of trying it. Thoughts from you, Dan?
Yeah, I absolutely, very similar to what you're doing there. It's not a straightforward shot, but I think whereas that way over there was very different ways that me and you played it. However, on this way I'm going to be very, very similar. What I would say is I've pulled a 60 out here. I could use my 56. It wouldn't bother me to use my 56, but the pin is quite tucked to us here. So what I want to do is I want to create a little bit more speed in my swing, just to get the ball to pop up and maybe make my descent angle a little bit steeper coming in, because the green is a little bit above us. If it was flatter, so if the green was kind of level with us, but we still had the similar sort of room to play with, you might see me pull my 56 out, because I feel like I could get it high enough with a decent descent angle to let it release out towards the hole.
So setup wise, you would play both as well, lean in and with?
Yeah, I absolutely would, and I probably wouldn't, I'll be honest with you, because of it being sat down, I probably would have changed clubs there.
Yeah.
You might see me move into my 56, and instead of like what you've done there, trying to open it up and play it that way, I would probably just accept that I want to land this in the fringe a little bit before.
Okay.
So allow it to pop out a little bit lower and skid it on.
You're basically saying that landing it there is a higher percentage shot than opening the face, so you're relying on a better bounce and maybe the strike.
Absolutely, because I think what I'm looking at is I've got, when I take my wedges, I've got lower bounce in my 60 than I do my 56. So I want a little bit more bounce when that club's starting to dig into the ground a bit more. So I would be a little bit more confident going in with that ball that's sat down with more bounce than less bounce.
So you've got 60 degrees as well.
Again, I'm doing exactly the same
a little
as
bit
you,
with the slope.
and then I just try and work with the slope, a bit more speed, and then let it hopefully release. I've landed at a fraction short where I wanted it.
Yeah.
But it did what I wanted it to do, really. It went a bit higher, it worked up the slope, and it came down really quite softly.
No digging in with that leading edge.
No digging in at all, no scars in the ground for that. That's closer.
So you got it a little bit closer there, didn't you? That looks closer, and that one actually.
Yeah.
2 out of 2 beat you there, Dan. Sorry,
Well done.
both ways. Let us know how you get on with the uphill lie. Is it a tricky shot for you? Do you practice it? What technique do you use? Post those comments down below. Awkward lie number 3 coming up. Ball above your feet.
Yeah.
Should we do that? And there's a link again up here for the downhill. See you in the next video.